You are now listening to the Going North podcast, where you'll receive tips and techniques to advance yourself. I'm your host, Dom Brightman, and every week we're going to be hearing from an author who's going to share their expertise to help you charge forward in life. On a quick side note, be sure to check out Going North the book. It's available in ebook, audio, as well as paperback form for those who love to read a traditional book. Now let's get on with the show.
And today on the Going North podcast, we have, you guessed it, another author. But not just any author. This podcast has a magnet for attracting some of the best and brightest in the world, because this wonderful author right here is an award-winning author as well as a veteran. She's a motivational speaker and a creative strategist, among many other things. She has titles for days. She can probably publish her book on all the titles that she has. She's a
literally.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's all good.
People like titles. Sorry.
It's all good, man. You can't have a book without a title, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going to go ahead and let this wonderful lady finish where I left off, because she is the wonderful MMC, Myesha Monique Collins. How are you today, ma'am?
Oh, my God, Dom. You have me cheesing over here. My jaw's hurt. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm just sitting here. When you said MMC, nobody has called me that since I was like a kid. So that was funny just now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting? Like, you just threw that out there. And it's literally like, it's just my initials. But, yeah, nobody's called me that since I was a kid. They're like, hey, MMC. I'm like, what? So as Don has introduced me, I mean, the titles are titles because I know people love titles, but I'm just trying to be a good human. I'm trying to work with the universe. And, all the titles that I pick up as a human, I'm just going to go ahead and stick them in my bag. But thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure indeed. When I saw you meet a kid, I was like, oh, shoot, this is freaking awesome. A veteran, a multi-time author, and she's got blue and gold as a color. So what led to the blue and gold? I know that's part of your nonprofit.
Yes. Basically, what most people think about blue is either going to be calming or sadness. I use it to be tagged to unknowing, and then gold knowing. Blue girl turned gold. Literally, I'm the original blue girl. So I went from a place of, and I'm still growing and learning more about myself, but I came from a place where I didn't know how great I was because I didn't see it. I wasn't taught it. It just wasn't part of my upbringing. And then morphing and learning and living my experience and transitioning into knowing how great I am. And I want to empower others just to stay focused on the knowing how great they are, because we do get lost in life with the experiences and maybe not knowing how to cope and process certain things. Sometimes we can get lost and forget how great we are. So that's where blue and gold tie in. And plus, they are pretty cool colors, though.
Oh, I agree indeed. Fully.
You said you like blue and gold too, huh?
Oh, yeah. Those are my favorite colors. Since I was a kid.
See, so you were doing it before me, before I even knew anything about it. You was out there creating the shades of blue, Dom? Don't tell me that.
Well, maybe not 50 shades of them, but
a couple. Just a few. Oh, Lord, please, I can't give you no more book titles. I'll start thinking, like, oh, here we go. Let me stick to the script here. But, yeah, so blue and gold, I've grown to love those colors because, of course, I'm living blue and gold now. So the nonprofit is about women empowerment, and we have workshops and things that's just used to empower. With the youth, what we want to do is kind of condition them to already have this mindset versus having to figure it out when you're my age, because now I don't got that much time to make a difference. So if I can teach them early on how great they are, maybe it'll be easier for them as they go through life experiences to adjust and, process and go through the experience and not just be hindered the whole time and stagnated, but to excel and thrive in spite of anything that they go through.
That's what I'm talking about, because time is very precious. Gold can replace itself, but not time.
No. And we predict that we have the next moment, but we don't. So I try to be cautious now and very purposeful when I do things now, because I know time is limited. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make an impact while being here, since I got to be here, Dom.
There you go. Yes. So what branch of service were you in during your time in the military?
Oh, I was in the Navy. Gosh, yeah, the Navy. I love the Navy. I was the first person in my family to go into the military, actually. And the reason why I went, and the reason why I went in is because I was a teen mother. I had my son when I was 15. And I was working at City Hall, so I've been working since I was about 14 years old, but just doing like fast food jobs. And my family had moved from California to Atlanta when I was 15. I had my son, and then I was just trying to figure out the best way to be able to achieve certain things. So I knew I was a single parent. I knew I had to provide for this child now, because now whatever I needed is no longer important, and I'm like 15 years old doing this, right? It's kind of like, okay, so I'll just go to the military, because everything I heard is like, okay, I'll be able to have it's like a regular job, which we know that it's really not like a regular job, but it's like a regular job. You'll get a paycheck, and it'll help set you up for future, which is college, housing money, which it actually did. So I will say that it was, for me, probably one of the best routes to go, being a teen mother at 15 in 1995 and, going to the military in 1998. During that era, for me, that was a good strategic move for the betterment of me and my son. And now he's an Air Force officer, so I think he did all right. Woohoo! He's in the Air Force, so he thinks he's better than the Navy, but you know how it goes. So I got to beat him up when he come home, things like that. So you remember that I'm his mom?
Yeah.
They get too big for their britches.
Yeah, that's when things go south.
Right. It won't be going north at all. At all. The thing I did like about the military was the camaraderie. You really don't get that too many places. But one of the downfalls, I think, for me is, I don't know, because it's a pro and a con to move around a lot. So I know people in different areas. But you don't actually, like sometimes I'll move to places that aren't really military towns, and these people have grew up from elementary, and I really didn't get that with moving around so much and then joining the military. So that part I kind of missed out on, but at the same time, I've made great connections because of the military and being able to move around.
Well, there you go, the gift and the curse of moving around. You get to know a friend in every state.
Yes. And so now you don't have to pay for hotels. You just sucker people and letting you stay with them when you come to the area.
Ah, so you give them lollipops, huh?
Yeah. Look, lollipops and autographed books. Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
So being in the Navy, raising, actually 3 sons in total, actually, being a mom and finding a way to actually become a businesswoman with multiple projects and award-winning author. I'm pretty sure there's some trials you had to overcome to get to where you currently are.
It's just been a process going from, I would just release a book called Reclaim My Time from the 9-to-5 Grind with the advocate behind Stronger Than My Struggles. And what it is just basically me telling my story of how I reclaim my time. I always have been a high-performing person, and I know we didn't mention it yet, but part of my military career was I was assaulted, and due to that ended up being diagnosed with PTSD and depression and anxiety. So having to deal with those things, raise a family, and then still trying to figure out, it was like I'm trying to figure out what my purpose is, because I've always been a writer and I've always tried to help people and things like that, but in all of my jobs, it was kind of like it was always stifled, or the creative control was not free for me, so I couldn't help how I wanted to. So literally when I moved to Virginia for a job offer, but it's about 2 years ago now, that I didn't know was going to end. It was a contract job. Once I lost that position, it was kind of like I was forced into choosing myself, like choosing my highest purpose. So that's basically where I am now, to where I'm trying to be this business person, but then still also self-preserve some stuff for me because of my disabilities, but then also making sure that I'm thriving in what things I know I can do, which I've been doing them the whole time. It's just now I think I've let go of the stigmas myself that were tied to everything. So now it's like I'm just moving freely however I want to move, and it's pretty cool. Now, I don't make a lot of money yet, but it is pretty cool.
Butterfly status. Gotta love it.
Yes. I just know I remember a time when I didn't think a lot of things were possible, and then when you start seeing that they are possible, it's like, why not share it? I mean, we share everything else that's so negative, so why not share a lot of the things that are positive? And you can't go from being an employee to an entrepreneur, and, you know, you don't have to fall into certain categories. And then it's 2018. Everything is possible. We talked about the Internet and, you know, all the possibilities it has created of things that we never experienced before. So it's kind of like I'm at a point of this free thinking and just trying to be my best self without attaching my thoughts and feelings to the stigma surrounded by the things that I am, a teen mother, disabled veteran, things like that. So I just more focus on all the great things that I am, if that makes sense.
That's what I'm talking about, because you're right, it's 2018, the millennium is now legal, the Internet is out there, and women are kicking butt nowadays, and there's enough advancement, abundance, and opportunity for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's awesome that you're actually going up there and getting some of it for yourself and your fellow comrades.
Yeah. I'm like, I might as well. I mean, like I said, since I got to be here, I'm going to do my part while I'm here. It's just been a blessing just being able to move through these moments, even though they're not all, you know, glory and everything. But that's what writers do. I mean, we got to go through certain things to be able to write and share the stories. When I read other people's work, I want to feel the experience. And that's what I think in 2018, sometimes we kind of lose that personal touch to things because we're so cyber connected. So to me, it's kind of good to actually be able to read something from a person that's just filled with experience and like real life experience, not just regurgitated things that you think you're supposed to say so nobody say nothing about you. So that's how I write. That's how I like to read the works that I get into. So I feel more, I don't know if I feel more knowledge in that, because I have to, for me it's kind of like I like to see the struggle in people because I know that you're going to appreciate the greatness after. Sometimes if you haven't hit that bottom or hit a spot where it's like, man, I don't want to go back there, you might not appreciate a lot of things. And so I like to surround myself by people that appreciate and are living the experience and sharing it through their perception, not by, you know, what they're taught or what they feel is acceptable.
So you want a poetry?
Yeah. You know, poetry penetrates the soul.
That's right, like a sword and a mushroom tip.
Yes. You write poetry, Dom?
Oh, no. I wrote like maybe one poem.
He said one poem. I bet you it's a whole strong poem, though.
Nope.
No, that'll be a negative. Okay, all right. But, yeah, poetry, I don't know. I just look at everything different now, and I didn't always look at things this way. So it's better for me to look at things this way than how I was looking at them. So that's why I just try to keep this perspective as much as possible.
That's right, a positive perspective and turning failure into fortune.
Yes, turn them L's into lessons, literally, because they're going to happen. It's just like how I said, I'm here, so I'm going to do my part. I mean, the L's are going to happen, the wins are going to happen. It's just about how we process and get through them and what we surround ourselves by. Sometimes we surround ourselves by things that we don't need. I learned that sometimes the thing that you don't need is your old self. So it's just been an experience, as I say.
Oh, yes, ma'am, indeed. So with surviving the assault experience in the military to continuing to travel all over, well, back to the world, I guess, because I'm pretty sure you've been outside the country, right?
Right.
To being an ordained minister and a creative strategist. So what?
Oh, God.
So what involves the creative strategy?
I joined a movement called the Genius is Common movement, and it's led by the founder of Bruce George. And basically, I had talked to him, and it was more like I've always been moving strategically, but my genius is creativity. So, like, I find millions of ways to be creative in pushing people to their next highest self, helping them with their business ideas. It's just I think outside the box, so a lot of times I can come up with strategies to get you to certain places. Like I had to strategize talking to you today. So I just find creative ways to strategize to either expose people or make them aligned into their highest self. So when I do my experience coaching, a lot of it is strategy because most of the time it's like people can see where they want to go, and I've been there before. I mean, I'm still there because there's other things that I'm trying to maneuver as well, but they see where they want to go, but they have no idea how to get there. And it's really like you really don't need to know everything. You just need to have resources. You just need to know where to find the information. So that's basically what I do. I just come up with creative strategies to different problems and try to solve them effectively, whether it's business or personal.
There you go. Yeah, because I mean, because there's like so many resources out there, and some folks may have like trouble finding them. So it's really good that you actually mentioned that.
Yeah, because it's even starting a nonprofit. Like, and the thing is, there are a lot of resources out there, but just because you can read a book doesn't mean you're going to comprehend and you're going to know everything to do. So you're still going to have a resource to reach out to an expert in that field. So even when you're reading and learning about things, resources and networking is a very big deal. As long as you have those things, it's easier to find strategic ways to get the goal accomplished, whatever that goal is.
And for those who want to create a strategy for one day publishing their book and actually speaking about it, any advice that you would give to them?
Yeah, so literally publishing a book is not hard at all. I know I see people charging so much money for it. I published my first book in 2006, and I self-published it, and that was harder than it is to publish a book now. So if you go online and you say, how do I self-publish a book, it's probably 10 steps. I went through Create Space for Blue Girl Turn Gold. So what I would say is just look for options. Everything doesn't, if it's your first book, everything doesn't have to be, you got to have a professional photographer and all these things. The important part is to get your information out there. But look into Create Space. Don't try to follow the norms of what we used to do because, like I said, it's 2018. Everything is not as hard as it used to be. So, like I said, just do a little bit of research and don't try to go broke trying to publish your work. That's the most important, and get it out to as many people as you can. It's not so many. I know a lot of people, it's like you could be a writer, but writing necessarily is not going to make you a millionaire. But if your talent is writing and that's your genius, then you still want to be able to get the works out there, and you really don't need validation from anybody else. And I think that's one of the things from authors. Sometimes we look for validation where it's not needed. I think once you understand that you want your work on paper and you want people to read the works, then that's all the validation you need.
There you go. That's important. You got to validate yourself first before anyone else.
I'm telling. It seems simple, Dom. It seems simple, but it's not, because we're taught that it's like the outside accolades is what matters, but you have to be validated within first to even be able to show anybody on the outside. And that's what I kind of mean by that, is to just have faith in yourself and just be like, hey, this is what I want to do, and everybody might not like it, but I love it, and let's go. Let's get it. That's how I talk to myself now.
There you go. That's a good way to. I mean, it's better than saying some negative stuff about yourself.
Oh, exactly. And I could do that too, but what's that going to do for me? I've done that before, and that's the thing. It's like you got to change that mindset, and it's funny because even in my own household, they're looking at me like, this lady is crazy. But I'm like, you really have to change your mindset. I'm like, you literally have to change your mindset. And I know it looks crazy to you now, but I know what it's like to be stuck in a negative mindset, and I will never be going there again. So if a positive mindset is creating fruits of my labor, then I'm going to stay aboard that train. And I hope everybody, starts to look at things that way, because we know how the world is. Nothing is getting easier besides ordering food and getting fat. So you're going to have to make a decision. Hey, I'm telling you, if you want to get fat, that's the easiest thing to do. That's the easiest thing to do. But trying to validate yourself and get yourself to a spot where you're like, damn, you're awesome. That's hard. Got to put it in real life perspective, guys,
That's as easy as the world to get.
Keep laughing at me.
No, because it's so true, because I gained a lot of weight last year. That's why I'm laughing about it.
Like, damn, she's right. This shit is easy as hell. Yes, it is. It's like no effort, right? I think I'll wake up and I'm like kind of happy because I'm like, oh, I look a little slim. By 3 o'clock, I'm like, where did this come from? Like, where was this at this morning? It's literally anything you do puts weight on you. You think too much. Oh, I can't wait from thinking too much. So, like I said, it's easy to do that. So it is a little bit harder to work on yourself and get to a point where the thing is, you're going to have the negative thoughts. It's not that I don't have the negative thoughts. It's that I don't dwell on them. I'm like, okay, that may happen, but it may not. So let me focus on the best outcome that I would want. Let me see what happens if I think that. And that's really what I've been doing, and it's been happening slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's true indeed, because you got to stay the course, and it's harder than ever once you get to a certain point of success.
Yeah, I'm like, you got to stay hungry. You got to keep the passion. I guess I'm just one of those people, too, because I'm a emotional person. It's kind of like I had to find a purpose, because if I didn't, I'll be like, why am I even here? I think once people start tapping into their purpose that may not be what everybody thinks it is or may not be what they've seen, and you can self-validate and you're happy doing it and you find happiness doing it, you can make it work for you, but you're going to have to be dedicated, and it does take work. So anytime you hear people speaking, they didn't just do this overnight. This has been years and years and years of work and trying to get to your best self, and it's hard because most of us don't even know what our best self is.
Hey, it's true, because even Grant Cardone talks about this, is the fact that you should measure yourself towards your potential, and that's something you can never really truly reach and understand, as opposed to comparing yourself to someone else.
Exactly, and that's where we mess up, because it's like your journey is not going to look like theirs. I see people say, oh, this person got on Instagram and did such and such, but that's not your journey. And when you sit there and compare your journey, you're always going to come up short, because your potential is not the same. They're nowhere near the same. But I understand that mindset, because that's what we were taught. You do A, B, and C. This happens, that happens, and this may happen. We're not going to tell you how to deal with it, but you'll figure it out because everybody else has been through it, and we just keep this cycle going. But, yeah, you don't know your highest potential. And then when somebody shows you something, you're so ecstatic, but it's like, and your potential is even higher than that. And so just having that mindset is kind of mind-blowing, and it's kind of, you do have to have faith to believe that way. But like I said, it's worth believing that way. It's been worth believing that way for me anyway.
At the end of the day, somebody believes in something. Even getting in your car in the morning and believing is going to start. I mean, everybody's got faith.
Literally.
Don't realize.
Right, exactly. It's the little things. Like, you have faith that you're going to come home from work today. You don't know that for a fact, but like, you don't know it, but you know it. But it's not guaranteed, but you think it is. But anyway, I won't be talking in circles. I feel like I just said a circle for you, Dom.
Ain't nothing wrong with circles. Ain't nothing wrong
trying to connect it. It all links together is what I'm trying to say. All links together.
That's right, just like LinkedIn.
Oh, gosh, please. LinkedIn. Yeah. That's another good resource tool. I'll put that out there. That's actually a real good resource tool to use. But yeah, everything is linked. And like how we were talking earlier about the internet, now it's really 1 to 2 degrees of separation. Everything is at your fingertips, and it's just I just hope that people start using it for their best selves, like for them, not necessarily for everybody else around them, for them to be better, because I know how life is, and it's not easy. So you got to get to the point where you're good, and then it makes everything else a little bit easier to deal with. But when you all in shambles, everything going to be chaos. Everything is going to be a problem. It's always going to be something. But it's kind of like you got to take your power back and take your control back. Everything you can't control, but the most important things you can, which is your mindset and your sanity.
That's right. Keep your sanity. Keep it in close reach. Don't lose it.
Yes.
Hug it.
Don't you?
hug
People lose their sanity all the time. I keep seeing these people hitting people with cars when they angry. That's losing your sanity. Like, you were that upset that you wanted to run somebody over with your car because you was upset. Like, you could have killed that person. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not emotionally stable, and that's insanity to me. That's crazy to take something out of your control, which in most of those situations, it's like they know that this is a hostile environment, and I'm just going to stay in it, and I'm just going to keep throwing fire on it until something happens. And it's like, but you just made a life-changing decision by hitting somebody with your car. And it probably wasn't even that serious.
True.
So 99% of the time, it's not that serious because your life is not in danger. That's the only time you should be trying to run somebody over. And our mental health is important. And that's what I was doing in Baltimore with Melanie Hill. She had an event, Crazy Like a Fox, and it was basically getting rid of the stigmas around mental health, and then also speaking about how mental health is important in the Black community, which we really don't talk about it a lot. So it was a pretty cool discussion I was glad to be a part of.
That's right. Shout out to Melanie Hill with the awesomeness.
Yes, she's magic. And she's another person that's defying the gravities of our accepted stigmas for mental illness. But, yeah, she's pretty awesome. And she's helping so many people just with her vision. So I'm just honored to be, connected to people like that. And that's what I want to surround myself with, people that still can love and give back through all these experiences despite everything that we go through, because I know that's trying just to keep yourself together. So to actually be reaching out, trying to help other people, I know how much burden that is and how much stress that is. So I definitely respect her for that.
There you go. Always advance others to advance yourself. I love it.
Yep, got to.
So speaking of magical resources and books, have there been any books in particular, in addition to yours, that have really inspired you?
Not really. I read so many different books, so it wouldn't even be one book. I know the 48 Laws of Power is a big book, and it's funny because there are laws of power, but it's still all a mindset. So I think a lot of books now that are dealing with mindset, especially in 2018 and going forward with the millennials and just the shift, your paradigm, your shift has to be different. Now you have to see differently. Things are nothing like they were 30 years ago. So I just try to read books that are progressive. I don't really try to focus on maybe so much history books because I'm trying to be progressive. Like, I know what history has occurred. I know things that have happened, but I'm trying to change mindsets and move forward. And sometimes looking back and not focusing on what you want the outcome to be kind of stifles the growth. So I just try to focus on mindset books and things like that help me stay focused and keep my mindset healthy and not clouded by my own individual ego, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense indeed. Makes sense indeed, like quarters and pennies.
Get on my nerves.
Well, yeah,
quarters and the pennies.
Yep, puns for days.
Clearly. Talking about you don't write poetry. Write some poems with those. You'll rack up.
Yeah, who knows? I might even get another book out. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. That's an art. That's art right there. Go ahead and throw a title on it. Shades of Blue. Go ahead and knock yourself out, Dom. You got it.
All righty, maybe.
Oh, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, as far as books, I think probably 48 Laws of Power, but definitely, like I said, mindset books is what I'm trying to focus on now.
Yeah, that 48 Laws of Power is heavy. And I'm not just talking about it being a thick book. It's just chock full of information and stories of the past, and there's like so much in there.
So much manipulation tools in there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's a mindset. It's literally a mindset. It's crazy.
Yes, indeed. Of course, the never outshine the master law and all sorts of other ones, and then quotes from Machiavelli.
Yes, and it's like you wouldn't even think that, and it's like, oh, that does make sense. But it's interesting because the battle that I have with that is like, I don't want to manipulate you. I just want you to do the right thing. So for me, it's hard because I understand what it is, but it's like, man, I wish it didn't have to be that way, but we are creatures of habit, so therefore.
Yeah, creatures of habit. But don't worry, they're going to be good at habits, though.
Oh, yeah. Going forward, that's all I can do. Because bad habits, they haven't been doing me too much justice. They haven't been doing us as a community and as people too much justice. So I'm going to try this good energy stuff and see how it works out for me, Dom.
Oh, it'll work out perfectly. Trust me, you'll even have a new program out called Gold Girls Become Platinum. It'll be awesome.
Oh, man, I swear, my son said that yesterday. I just started laughing. I was like, y'all really are funny. Gold Girls Gone Platinum. Lord. Now I got to figure out what's after platinum. My mind, that's how my mind go down. Now I'm like, oh, Lord, what's over platinum now? Jesus. They done gave me another job. But, yeah, definitely because, now I got a whole other job now. Like, oh, Lord, that's a whole other book. That's a whole other life. So I don't even know what platinum is. Oh, I think you were alien at that point. I thought gold was good, but now you done told me I got to get the platinum, Dom. Thank you. Now I got something else to work on.
Oh, don't worry. It will get worse, and then like 5 more years, you'll create Platinum Girls Gone Bitcoin. It'll be awesome.
Oh, Lord. Do you know it? Oh, my gosh. If I make it that far. Look, I'm not good with technology. Oh, my gosh, I'm not even good with technology anymore. I'm just like, oh, my God, now I know. Now I don't even want to laugh at my grandma and them when they're like, show me how to do this on the phone because I'm only 38 and I'm doing the same thing to my kids. Come hook this up. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I sound like them. So I don't know if Bitcoin, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get that concept, but I'm hoping I can. Trying to learn some new tricks.
Oh, there you go. 38 is still a young age.
Yeah, and I guess I got to get the platinum now, so I got room for growth.
See, there you go. We're all our own special trees in the forest of positivity.
And the universe is shining on us. Look at the auras. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Something like that.
That's
Something
right.
Like
the
that.
Blue auras, baby. The blue ones. The shiny blue and sky blue.
Yes. Blue is also for your throat chakra, so it's good speaking things that you need to say. And it isn't necessarily like speaking verbally. It could be writing and things like that. So, yeah, all that good stuff. I'm learning some things, and like I said, it keeps me more positive to think this way. Because I see everything that's going on in the world. I'm not blind. But I got to have a little bit of hope or else I won't even want to be here. But I do. And then I'll try to help other people see the same thing. It's not that easy, but I've gotten a couple of people on the boat, so I'm doing all right.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Nice need to get some animals 2x2 on the boat
2x2.
too, right?
4 chickens, though. 4 chickens.
There you go.
Got to have some 4 chickens. I'm getting all the wings. I like wings. I don't like the legs and stuff, so. Yeah, we'll make sure. And I can't swim. I was in the Navy, can't even barely swim. But we'll talk about that another time. Okay. You made me think about the ark. See, this is how my mind goes, Dom. You'll say that, and I'm already thinking, now I'm on the ark. I can't even swim. Why am I on this ark? Because Dom put me here with these animals. I don't know if that's my creative mind or I need to go take a nap mind. But that's how I think.
I'm telling you, the best ideas come sometimes when you're sleepy.
I'm telling you. You were like, what was I thinking? But that's a good idea. Nowadays, you really can't dismiss any idea you have. I mean, you see how much stuff we see. It's like, what? So I don't dismiss anything. Never know.
Yeah, because I think it was on Facebook yesterday, this random video of golden fried chicken where they put gold flakes on the chicken after it's fried. I'm like, One, y'all
Oh, my
stupid.
gosh.
Like, what is y'all
Literally.
doing? Like, that is a
Was
waste
it a
of money.
300 piece of chicken?
No, it was like 8 wings, like 8 little wings, buffalo wings.
Gold
like,
flakes
why?
on it. People, everybody trying to stunt. My son had me watching this show, and it's like they go to 3 different restaurants with the same food, but they're different prices. So let's say a burger. So they got a $3 burger, and then they'll go to a place where it's like a $500 burger. I saw it was a show, and they were talking about a pizza. The pizza had truffles and gold, like it was like gold covered on the top of it, and it was like $300 for a pizza.
Well, no.
And people in there eating. The thing is, you in there eating for lunch. This ain't even dinner. You just go in there and snack on that for $300? Oh my gosh! I was like, wow. But yeah, some things are just a little ridiculous. It's all about what people are willing to pay, not really what it's worth, in my opinion. So.
That's true indeed.
I don't think you can make chicken. You can't make fried chicken any better. Like Gold Flakes, what is that gonna do? Now I gotta go look for it. Now I gotta go look for what you're talking about. 'Cause now I'm upset. Now I gotta go look and see what's going on with this fried chicken with the Gold Flakes on it. See what they charging for this foolishness.
$1,000.
And look, and somebody has the title of Gold Flake Chicken Maker. Since we're talking about titles, somebody made that up. So, That's why I say you never know. Don't take any idea for granted. Clearly, because who would have thought you could put Gold Flakes on chicken?
So, in speaking of thinking, if you were to go back in time and you were 25 in 2018 with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
As uncomfortable as it is, try to stay as true to yourself as possible, meaning listening to your intuition, your feelings, even if they don't feel good, even if they hurt, even if people aren't giving you the validation you need. Trust in going through this process and being yourself. That's very, very important. That would be the advice I would give myself.
There you go. Be the gold girl that you want to be.
Be the gold girl you want to be, so you can get to that platinum. But, yeah, it's a mindset. It's more of and it's not that I'm, never blue. Of course I have blue days, but I have more gold days because I know that these things are possible now, whereas I didn't know that before.
I'm pretty sure there's days you want to put on a blue dress, too. I mean, hey, can't always have a gold dress in the closet.
No, can't always have a gold dress. And it might be dingy blue some days. You'll get through it. And that's the thing. It's like every day, even when you're having a bad day. I have bad days. It's like, okay, but let me take a moment to highlight all the great things that I do have, because that's what we focus so much on, the negative. We focus on everything that we're not. And it's like, what about the 300 things that you are? What about the 10 things you are great at versus I can't do this one thing perfectly, You're created perfectly as you are. I mean, you're supposed to add to yourself, but you can't really add to yourself with a negative outlook. You have to have a positive outlook. You have to have, even if it's, I want to make another $10,000 in the next 2 years or whatever the case is, you have to know that that's possible to actually be able to get there. You can't, because I know a lot of times sometimes we'll say, oh, I want this or I'm going to do this, but you really don't believe it. You actually have to know it. You actually have to believe it. You actually got to see it to achieve it. And I didn't even want to say that, Dom. See how that just came out? I didn't want to say that altogether. You got to know it to believe it to achieve it. So you just got to know. Once you know, you'll get through those blue moments a little bit faster, and then you'll also be able to be a resource to somebody else, because you're going to run into people that are going through the exact same thing or have been through the exact same thing, or you might be in contact with somebody who just got done going through what you went through. And so that's the whole purpose of Blue Girls Turn Gold, to share and to acknowledge that you're going to be blue and gold forever, just to acknowledge when you're being blue and when you're being gold and trying to work through that, in the best positive light that you can.
Woohoo! All those who want to be part of the train and get on the boat so they won't drown, how can we keep in touch with you and all that you're doing?
Yes, I am on Instagram, Blue Girls Turn Gold. My email is bluegirlsturngold@gmail.com. Web address is bluegirlsturngold.org. The Blue Girl Turn Gold book is on Amazon, guys. yeah, just reach out to me if you want to join the movement, if you want to be a sponsor, if you have someone that needs to be mentored, if you're any kind of leader, visionary, or educator. I would love to discuss some of the workshops that we have, because the workshops that we have they're a little unique. They're probably not the typical workshops, but one of them is the Genius is Common, because we do need to start dropping that seed that everybody has their genius, so that you can focus on that as you grow and move forward versus all the things that you're not. So I think that's very important. But, yep, that's how you guys can find me, and I look forward to hearing for anybody that's interested in. Dom, I really appreciate you having me on here. It's been a great chit-chat with you.
Oh, yes, ma'am, indeed. Got to talk to an MC today.
Yes, MC such and such on the mic.
Oh, yeah, Miss MMC, the MC on the MIC. Oh, yeah.
Get down. It's the get down.
Hey there, buddy. Looks like you made it to the end of this episode. Since you made it to the end of this episode, do both of us a favor and stop being greedy. Stop it right now and share this episode with your friends and your fellow podcast lovers, especially those who have book clubs and want to listen to the authors who write some amazing books. Be sure to check out the